appropriate time.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. The head of the UN's atomic watchdog said today the U.S. is right. The agreement does call for nuclear inspections, but an Iranian diplomat just responded saying that's only after a final deal is reached as nuclear talks continue. The president also just posted the Strait of Hormuz is open for oil and other shipping, Iran not charging ships. And now another potential problem. The Israeli defense minister said they won't get out of Lebanon even if the U.S. demands it. They lost another attack on Hezbollah. America's listening to Fox News.
If you want unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast network, Big Wireless will sell it to you right now for as little as $70 a month. Or you can buy it from Pure Talk for half of that. I'm talking about unlimited talk, text, and unlimited data for just $34.99 a month. Stop paying the big guys twice what you need to. Dial pound 250, say my name. That's pound 250 micro to switch to Pure Talk, where the savings are truly unlimited.
Identity theft can cost more than you think. Drained investment accounts, stolen tax returns, lost wages, expenses for lawyers. It's a lot. That's why LifeLock is backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which covers up to $1 million for stolen funds, fees, and experts and lawyers, and out-of-pocket expenses. Don't face the burden of identity theft alone. Protect your future and finances with LifeLock. Join now. Save up to 30% off your first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. 1-800-LifeLock, promo code BECK. LifeLock.com. Terms to apply.
Well, after President Trump's lunch with Senate Republicans, where he'll push them to again pass the Save America Act, which would have new voting restrictions like proof of citizenship and voter ID. He'll meet with NATO's leader, Mark Rutte, and then tonight the president will hold a big rally on the National Mall to kick off the Great American State Fair. The day after, he took a trip.
President Trump traveled to Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley and a Mack Trucks factory to make his case for tariffs.
How don't you pay it? You build your factory here and you hire American workers. It's quite simple, actually.
The president says tariffs on vehicles, including heavy-duty trucks like the ones made by Mack, will mean more of those trucks manufactured in the U.S.
All American roads will be filled with American trucks very shortly. Very few people are able to compete with us anymore.
President Trump is trying to reverse polling that shows a majority of voters disapprove of his handling of the economy and tariff policies. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Now, a court ruling President Trump won't like banning ICE agents from making arrests inside immigration courts.
The arrest started after President Trump's return to office last year. People accused by the administration of being in the country illegally, taken into custody when they showed up for scheduled immigration hearings. U.S. District Judge Casey Pitts in San Francisco is blocking the arrests nationwide, calling them an irrational departure from previous policy, limiting them to suspects threatening national security or the destruction of evidence. He's also overturning policy, allowing detainees to be held in short-term holding rooms for days sometimes instead of the traditional 12-hour limit. The Department of Homeland Security's top attorney calls the order judicial activism. Chris Foster, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising the morning after a sell-off dragged the Dow down big 579 points. The NBA draft resumes tonight, round 2. The first pick last night on ESPN.
The Washington Wizards select Anise DeBansa Jr. from Brigham Young University.
I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
News Talk 710 KURV, broadcasting from the Valley's All-American Truck Headquarters studio at PayneAutomall.com.
Happy Wednesday. It is June 24th, 2026, and this is the Valley's Morning News. This is News Talk 710 KURV. And as we do everything on social media now, we invite you to go find the free app, Radio Para Mí. Again, it's free. We're there somewhere. Look for us on the menu and listen on your smartphone. Producer Freddie also will post us live on 710 KURV X, 710 KURV YouTube. And as much as I hate Facebook, yeah, we got to do the Facebook thing as well, 710 KURV. You can join us there and rewind some of the news. AccuWeather coming up in about 3 minutes with more heat, so stick around for that conversation. Some local notes: authorities confirming that a Mission doctor, Jorge Zamora Quesada, is out of jail. He was convicted back in 2020 on multiple charges related to intentionally misdiagnosing and overtreating thousands of patients. The scheme reportedly generated a profit of $240 million for him. He spent 7 years in jail, must still serve 3 years on supervised release. At 7:07 on the Valley's Morning News, Texas Public Education Big change is likely on the way when it comes to the history curriculum.
The Texas State Board of Education this week hashing out the final details of what students are expected to learn in social studies. Efforts to place a greater emphasis on Christianity, as well as a focus on U.S. and state history, are backed by Governor Abbott, who says this is what Texans want.
I believe and support the policies to be passed, and I hope they get it done later on this week.
Hundreds of people spoke at a hearing this week, with many backing that plan to place biblical figures such as Abraham and Moses alongside George Washington and Sam Houston. That final vote set for Friday.
That's Michael Board reporting. The number of new world screwworm cases has risen to 16.
On a South Texas ranch, those on the front line in the battle against New World screwworm show off the drones that are buzzing over ranches and open fields.
Being able to look at animals that may have different behaviors or possible infestation.
Rear Admiral Michael Schmoyer is Washington's New World Screwworm Directorate. Drone-mounted surveillance gear can detect whether wild or domesticated animals have open wounds and possible screwworm infestation.
That's reporter Jim Ryan with News Nation at 7:08 on the Valley's Morning News. Quick business note for Texas. NASA's next chapter is in the private sector and deepening ties with them. Private space company Axiom Space announcing this week it's making Texas its official corporate base. Going to be right next door. They're pretty close to NASA at Houston. And we need good weather for the Huercos, for the Huerquillos that are visiting the area. We got several teams, baseball teams, young ones, from several states and Mexico. It is here in McAllen. It is the first Pony Summer Super Series International Tournament of Champions, and they'll be playing a bunch of games between now and the end of Friday. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. It is accurate with the time, and a big thank you to Dougie and all the gang over at Martin Farm and Ranch. Grow 'em right with Martin Farm and Ranch and their Purina certified feed. Martin Farm and Ranch on Monte Cristo. If you stop by, say hi to Dougie from me and Freddie. Say, hey, Dougie. Freddie says hi. Freddie who? That's probably what it is. Yeah. It's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina joining us, and more heat. I guess what? A heat alert for today? Triple digits for today, tomorrow?
Yeah, some spots could hit triple digits today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday.
All right. Any
next week.
Any change from the computers?
No, nothing yet. Still just straight hot all the way to the 4th of July. And beyond. That's as far out as I looked. So
yeah, and beyond.
And beyond.
Like Buzz Lightyear for a second. Tropics clear as well, right? Nothing in the Caribbean.
Yeah. No, all clear for now. Again, still watching off of southern Mexico, but southwestern Mexico over in the Pacific.
Right. Yeah, the rotation takes us to Texas weather. Nothing there as well, right? All clear.
Correct.
Texas weather. Well, man, that's going to be the forecast for the rest of the week and probably into next week as well. The AccuWeather forecast got a heat alert. A big thank you to all the gang at Lee's Pharmacy. They provided the heat alert. So triple digits, likely Mid-Valley, Western Valley today. And at the coast, at SpaceX and South Padre, likely going to be like mid-90s there at the beach. And that's your AccuWeather forecast. Rinse with no repeat. No, I'm sorry.
Repeat with no rinse. Yeah.
With no rinse. Yeah. Sorry, my dyslexia kicked in there for a second. Yeah, triple digits tomorrow, north of triple digits Friday and Saturday, and no rain in the forecast. That's your AccuWeather forecast. And I don't have much else like today. At least I can make a few seconds available and recognize our ag family. We love our ag family here at KURV. And by the way, if you guys check in at the 7 o'clock hour and you missed the 6 o'clock, what's the name of our farm show that's back from Texas Ag Today, 6 a.m. to 6:30 every weekday morning. Also on Saturday, they got a presentation on Saturday, right? Here on 710 KURV. I had somebody, one of our ag families ran into a local restaurant and said, hey, we noticed the ag program's back. Yeah, we love our ag family. So today, and I say that because today is Farmer Day. Today we celebrate farmers. That's on the national calendar. Yeah,
Thanks for the food.
Yeah, thank you for the food. So what are you talking about? Food is over at H.E. Butt. It's over at the grocery store. That's thank you for farm. And pralines. We celebrate with We're going to give them some chocolate covered, cream covered, nuts with nougat and things like that. So pralines. And that's it for the menu today, pal. All right, we'll talk to you next hour.
All right, see you in a bit.
That's AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Caterina on 710 KURV. Coming up in about 4 or 5 minutes, we've got the water advocate of South Texas, Our friend Sonny Hinojosa, he's a former irrigation district manager. And he participated with the Region M Water Planning Group. He's back with the water levels. We had a lot of rain last week, a few days before that, inflow. So what did that do? We watched impressive rain in West Texas, Del Rio, Laredo area, the lake as well. So our water levels going up a little bit. What does that mean? And some realistic long-term solutions to the issue of water. Everybody talking about water and power and water up in Austin. And we do need it. We got thousands of people moving to Texas. And then we got industry by the hundreds setting up data centers and all that. It requires water. Solutions, water shortage and new water sources. That's coming up at about 7:16 with Sonny Hinojosa, so join us for that. In a nearly unanimous vote on Monday, the U.S. Senate passed a new housing bill that some hope will pave the way for the removal of red tape and making housing more affordable in the nation.
The bill tries to speed up federal permitting and environmental reviews, offering funds to communities that make it easier to build more affordable housing, as well as loosening financing and regulatory barriers for manufactured factory-built homes, which are often cheaper than traditional construction. This bill would also create a pilot program making mortgages worth $100,000 or less easier to get. A National Association of Home Builders analysis found that nearly 3 out of 4 American households could not afford the median price new home.
The House gave its blessing to this piece of legislation. It was by a huge margin, and it's now headed over to the president for his signature. That is reporter Mills Hayes, by the way. The Trump administration is facing a setback when it comes to voter verification.
A federal judge says upgrades to a decades-old tool that states use to identify non-citizen voters is unlawful. The updates are part of the systematic alien verification for entitlements, or the SAVE program. That judge says SAVE could lead to eligible voters being wrongfully removed, and Congress prohibits centralizing Americans' personal data. The Trump administration says it will keep on defending that program.
It's 7:14 on the Valley's Morning News. And this interesting note for South Texas, the first bridge to connect Port Isabel to South Padre, it's gone. It's rubble now. Whatever was left, officials say that the demolition of the old Queen Isabella Causeway is complete. It was completed, I believe, last week. And the old causeway opened back in 1952. Of course, was replaced in the 70s after the rebar inside the structure was rusted. The rubble, whatever rubble they got from this, it's going to be used to expand artificial reef systems near South Padre, which reminds me, I want to say good morning to a dear friend of ours and here at the station, Robert Glick from Glick Twins. Robert and his family, they've been at the tip of the spear when it comes to developing that artificial reef off of South Padre. So you get some more junk to throw in the water, concrete and whatever, steel. Let the little fishes grow their families and get ready to be fished sometime in the future. The time is 7:15. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. We invite you to do the pivot, little by little, do the pivot. Radio Para Mi is the free app. You can listen on your smartphone. You can also join us on YouTube Live, X Live, and Facebook Live, 7 o'clock hour on 710 KURV. Look for that broadcast. Do a rewind in case you missed something. We'll talk about water, inflows, a lot of rain over the past couple of weeks. What is that doing to the storage over at Falcon? That's next on the Valley's Morning News.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
Come into Volvo Cars Edinburgh today and find the Volvo that's right for you. Shop from a great selection of Volvos today. Get comfortable in the incredible new 2026 Volvo XC60 with all the technology and innovation that makes the Volvo brand stand out from the rest. Lease one today for just $499 a month. That's right, $499 a month. We shop the competition so you don't have to. Elevate your drive today at Volvo Cars Edinburgh, a Bird Ogden Auto Group dealership.
Dale gas! Improve your overall health and enjoy a better quality of life with Dr. T's Primary Care. You're trying to set some new weight goals. If you're too moody or stressed out or just tired and trying to get more sleep, Dr. T's Primary Care can help you with all of that and more. If you're worried about things like low testosterone, Dr. T is a primary care provider from the sniffles to the flu and also offer menopause treatment, peptide treatment, and IV vitamin infusions. McAllen area call 956-803-0058 and in Harlingen 956-368-5247. That's drtspриmarycare.com.
Brian Kilmeade here, inviting you to tune in weekday mornings starting at 9 for the Sergio Show with Sergio Sanchez on News Talk 710 KURV and KURV.com.
News Talk 710 KURV is your radio station in the Valley for Houston Astros play-by-play. So they've got a 5:10 engagement today. All right, Freddie, let's see here. No, 5:35. I'm sorry about that. 5:35 today, still in Toronto. And then 5:10 tomorrow, they'll be in Detroit. Astros baseball made possible by Dr. T's Primary Care for men and women. Our water advocate for the RGV, our friend Sonny Hinojosa, joining us again. He's got decades and decades of experience as an irrigation district manager and also the same for as a participant with the Region M Water Planning Group. And we've been back and forth for several days looking at all that impressive rain in West Texas, far from us, near the lake, and well west of the lake as well. Okay, Sonny, so give me an update. What happened with all that impressive rain? Are we seeing significant inflows to the storage over at Falcon?
Good morning, Sergio, and thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we had that little tropical system that came through Mexico and provided some rain, not only to the Rio Grande Valley, but we also got some inflows from the tributaries on the Mexican side. So, it affected the Falcon Reservoir only, not Amistad. But nonetheless, Falcon came up 2 feet, which is about 52,600 acre feet. And the accounting hasn't been accomplished yet, but, we get a third of the flows that come in from the Mexican side. And then we get 100% of the flows that come in from the Texas side. And then we split, the unmeasured tributaries 50-50 with Mexico. So we'll find out hopefully, this Friday and how much the U.S. benefited from that. We're hoping to get at least half of that 52,000. So, yeah, anything is beneficial at this point.
What's the storage? What's the U.S. storage right now? Both
we're at 26.5%, which is just a little under 900,000 acre feet. 895,000 to be exact.
Okay.
So
that report lags, right, Sonny? I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's
yes, no, it lags. Yes.
Okay.
The water accounting occurs, every Saturday at midnight. They'll take elevations, and then they'll figure both countries, the IBWC and the counterpart in Mexico, SILA. They will look at the discharges from the reservoirs from each country, the diversions, the losses, and then it takes them a week to crunch those numbers. And about a week later, sometimes a week and a half, we'll get what they call preliminary finals to give us an estimate of how much each country has.
You willing to guess what the inflows of that impressive rain, what it will do? Will we go from 26 to 27, 26 to...
That's a possibility. If we get half of that water, which would be 26,000 acre feet, that's about 0.7%. And if we're at 26.5, you add 7%, then we'll be at 27.2. And we're hopeful for that.
And with the heat now over us and the pounding South Texas sun, evaporating some of this water, what is the más o menos ballpark figure? Help us understand what the evaporation rate does to Falcon, to the river, all that water that we're holding, because there's no rain in sight. AccuWeather says we're clear through the 4th of July, and we might be entering that period where it gets really hot and dry, like July.
That's correct. Yes, and July and August are probably our heaviest loss months as far as evaporation in both bodies of water.
Yeah.
Of course, there's not a whole lot to evaporate right now, but still, July and August are the worst months.
What's the, oh, by the way, Sonny Hinojosa, I refer to him as our Rio Grande Valley water advocate. He has decades of experience as an irrigation district manager. He's also with that planning group called Region M. A lot of folks in leadership that are pouring their ideas into solving the water situation for not only us, but for Texas, which is going to be a major issue in the legislative session. I was teasing this segment going into the break. Sonny was saying, well, we got all these thousands of people that are moving to Texas, and we got companies coming to Texas. They're thirsty as well, and we know that water and power and water will be the big issues in the legislative session come next year. So let's review from your point of view realistic solutions, what can be funded and can be applied quickly to the water needs of Texas. So what are you thinking, Sonny?
Yeah, the Rio Grande Regional Water Planning Group, otherwise known as Region M, we provide a report to the state of Texas, to Texas Water Development Board. It's a 5-year planning process, and we study the population impact, the water needs from each sector, whether they be municipal, industrial, domestic, manufacturing, mining, irrigation, and then we try to find where the shortfalls are, and we report this to the state. It's a 5-year process. So that 5-year just ended, late last year. I think October, we finalized our report. We submitted it to the Texas Water Development Board, and then a new 5-year cycle will commence, where you once again revisit the population and water needs. So, water needs for all aspects and uses is extremely important, but agriculture for irrigation is always a shortfall, and we know that. That's just the way our system is set up. Our municipal, industrial, domestic water, that's protected by the allocation system, but anything that can be conserved in the municipal, domestic, industrial will free up some water for irrigation. But we all know that the Rio Grande is over appropriated, so we have the firm yield of the system is 1 million acre feet. So certain reserves are kept to meet the municipal, industrial, domestic needs, and irrigation is always a shortfall. Especially when reservoirs have this kind of capacity. So to answer your question about what priorities, you hear a lot about lining of canals to conserve water in the irrigation sector. You hear about municipalities drilling and tapping into the groundwater source. We have desal of brackish groundwater, and now we're looking at desalination of seawater. So anything that can be tapped into and conserved, benefits everybody.
What do you think will be the laser focus priority by lawmakers up in Austin? What will they be funding? More concrete lining, more punching holes in the ground to find potential new sources of brackish water, quick desal, which, that's purchasing of equipment, all those things.
It's unfortunate, and yes, it's unfortunate that agriculture or irrigation is not a high priority for the state. It's providing water for potable uses for the population. So we see a lot of effort going into that, into the tapping into groundwater and desalination. But as far as irrigation or agriculture is concerned, we had Senator Chuy Hinojosa dedicate $100 million through the Texas Water Development Board for strictly canal lining and canal conversion into pipeline. So those funds got moved over to the NAD Bank, and several irrigation districts have applied for that funding. But there was a study that was accomplished 20 years ago in the early 2000s by Texas A&M, Dr. Guy Phipps, and he came up with a figure of 90,000 acre feet could be saved if we lined, our canal system, which we have just a little over 600 miles of unlined canals. here in the Rio Grande Valley, a 3-county area.
Sunny Hinojosa, or Rio Grande Valley water advocate. We've been watching a lot of beautiful rain west of us, and we're hoping that the reservoir increases a little bit as a result of all the heavy rain that we saw. We're now in the dry period. In an ideal situation, we'd get a tropical system that would dump a lot of water in the watershed. And in an ideal, best of situation, we would like to end the summer going into the fall at what percentage, Sonny? 35% storage?
We would feel comfortable as far as agriculture if we were at least 50%.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're far from that. And you're right. It's going to take a tropical system to get us to that point.
That you're asking for 2 tropical systems to get us to that. Something that would sit on us and just keep dumping a bunch of water.
Yes, sir.
My goodness. The Mexican water debt that has been paid off. Thank you, Lord, for Donald Trump. And, he was busting heads on this one. Okay, so Mexico forked over a portion of what they owned or whatever. So has it helped with allocations? What do you hear from frontline water districts and other folks?
First of all, the debt still remains. The cycle ended last October 24th of 2025, and Mexico had a deficit of 865,000 acre feet. That still exists.
What?
What we've been receiving from Mexico is the cycle operates in cycles of 5 consecutive years.
Yeah.
So the deal that President Trump made with Mexico is that they're going to deliver a minimum of 350,000 acre feet every year. The treaty talks about an average of 350 over a 5-year period, but this special deal that was made last December 15th, Mexico agreed that they would deliver a minimum of 350,000 acre feet every year of this 5-year cycle.
Which is what they're supposed to deliver.
That's what they're supposed to deliver. That's correct. And they also have to pay back the 865,000 acre feet that we were shorted the previous 5-year cycle. And there's no way they can do that without a tropical system.
So they don't have it in storage to simply fork over or in the ledgers write it over to us. They don't have it right now?
That's correct. They have about 980,000 acre feet in their internal reservoirs. And then the international reservoirs, they have 160,000 acre feet. So, yeah, they have 1 million, but they're not going to fork over all the water that they have because they need it for their use as well.
Or whatever they're going over there. Yeah.
Yes,
so they're not going to open up the spigot, let it flow into the river and fill us our tank.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Well, if and when they do get a tropical system, because it's such a vast area at northern Mexico and northeastern Mexico, they could get a lot of rain with some system that we don't get. I would hope that there are people in place that demand, okay, you got the rain. You got 2 million acre feet or something like that in storage and all these beautiful new dams that you release it, right? That's a hair trigger. That will kick in, right, by Monica de la Cruz or John Cornyn or Ted Cruz, anybody else, right? They'll be making those demands of Mexico as soon as they get it, because they might get it. We probably don't get anything.
Yeah. And really, we benefit more from the systems that come in from the Pacific side. If we can get water come in from the Rio Conchos, Chihuahua area, that would be fantastic.
All right. Anything else before I let you go, Sonny?
No, sir. That's it.
All right, brother. Thank you for the update. That's Sonny Hinojosa, our Rio Grande Valley water advocate. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. Check of news, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys. Ready to fight for you? Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH. Doctors and nurses caught up in a nationwide investigation of healthcare fraud.
The U.S. Department of Justice says more than 450 people have been charged in their nationwide crackdown of fraudulent billing practices that cost companies and patients more than $6.5 billion. Prosecutors say one of the defendants is a nurse practitioner in Texas who billed Medicaid for medically unnecessary wound care procedures and used the proceeds to buy jewelry and luxury cars. Another is a 53-year-old Texas doctor who had partners in Florida that operated a heart clinic. They say that group billed student athletes for cardiovascular tests, then signed off on the results as normal without actually reviewing them.
That's Stephen Pickering with that report. This is the Valley's Morning News for a Wednesday, your station for Astros baseball. I checked in on the Astros just a little bit yesterday on the broadcast ready. And, of course, I enjoyed the back-to-back home runs, like 3 home runs in a row, right? They were up 4-0. I left. I went later in the evening and said, let's see how they did. They won 9-7. It's like, wow, there was a lot of back and forth, and it went into extra innings. So we got some nice audio of that next on 710 KURV, your station for Astros baseball. One item that you can take off of your list is by calling Healthcare Unlimited and ask them to be a part of a team to take care of your mom and dad. Yeah, for me, and I was going back and forth texting with a friend who's in that situation as a family member that needs some help. I developed a team, private care providers, friends of the family, of course, yours truly, going there. And I was so blessed to see mom and dad on a daily basis, but hey, I had to work as well and take care of my babies. And it was a team that included Healthcare Unlimited, especially because there were times because my dad was so sick. He'd go into the hospital for a few days, and then he would be released. Well, he needed some follow-up work, wound care, or it was some medical stuff that he needed. Yeah, Healthcare Unlimited helped me with that. They were part of a team that helped with like everything from cooking a meal to cleaning up the house a little bit to making sure that they were properly bathed and sanitized every day. Lemony Fresh, my mom and dad. They help with, my dad couldn't button his shirt. He could barely move. Yeah, they help with all those things. It's the day-to-day chores. It's time-consuming. It's all day, sometimes all night. Make Healthcare Unlimited part of that team that goes over to your mom and dad's place and helps you take care of them. A lot of peace of mind. These are wonderful folks. I love these folks at Healthcare Unlimited. You are not alone in taking care of mom and dad. Call them today, 956-994-9911.
It's another season of Houston Astros baseball on News Talk 710 KURV.
First pitch, and he drives it. Good one. It's out of here.
Your Houston Astros are back, and we've got every weeknight and weekend game. All the hits, all the home runs.
Deep to right field. At the wall. Looking up. See you later.
From pregame to postgame, catch it all season long. Right here, Astros baseball, powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and News Talk 710 KURV.
At BMW of FAR, we value customer service. And with the BMW Value Service Program, we can show you how. Call today at 956-278-3733 and make a same-day appointment. And get the expert care for your BMW at our fully staffed service department from a BMW certified technician. Plus, we've added more service loaners to get you back on the road even faster. Call 956-278-3733 today and make a same-day appointment at the BMW service department at BMW of FAR, a Bird Ogden Auto Group dealership.
Your Houston Astros are on the road to visit the Toronto Blue Jays. Tune in tonight. First pitch at 6:10. Powered by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women and News Talk 710 KURV.
The 710 KURV Sports Desk is brought to you by Dr. T's Primary Care for Men and Women.
The Houston Astros won a thrilling extra innings game against the Toronto Blue Jays yesterday. Final score 9-7. In the fourth, the Astros hit 3 consecutive solo home runs to stretch their lead.
Here's a pitch. That's down the right field line. Is it 3? Is it ever? Upper deck in right field.
Despite the monster fourth, the Blue Jays clawed back, eventually taking a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Astros remained resilient, tying it and forcing the game into extra innings. Finally, in the top of the 11th, Joey Loperfido cranked a 3-run blast to take the lead and eventually the win.
The 1-2. And Loperfido hammers it deep to right field. It's hooking. If it stays fair, it's gone. It's a fair ball and a go-ahead 3-run homer.
Both clips courtesy of Robert Ford, Steve Sparks, and the Astros Radio Network. With a win, the Astros tied the series at 1, and they'll have the rubber game later tonight. The Texas Rangers fell to the Miami Marlins last night. Final score 6-4. Despite Texas taking a quick 1-0 lead in the top of the 2nd inning, the Marlins went on to score 6 unanswered runs. The Rangers return to action for the rubber game against the Marlins today. With your Texas in the Morning Sports Report, I'm Adam C.
I was telling producer Freddie, Joey Loperfido, a young kid, Astro, they call him J-Lope. J-Lope. No, it's not because he has a big butt. No, they're not even looking at that. It's, J-Lope. I thought that was pretty good, Freddie. Okay, AccuWeather says highs today should be triple digits. That's a 710 KURV heat alert. Thank you to all the gang over at Lee's Pharmacy for the heat alert on 710 KURV. Border Bridge wait times. It's busy in Cameron County. B&M Bridge at 1 hour last we saw. The Veterans Bridge was at 30 minutes and Gateway at 45 minutes. Thank you for waking up with News Talk 710 KURV. Business News Check of your money next on the Valley's Morning News. You want some good, satisfying breakfast, delicious breakfast, something you could sip and get a bite into and wash it down with some black coffee or maybe a little bit of cream and sugar in that coffee. I'm talking about breakfast tacos, breakfast patos. That's the signature name. The breakfast patos, the tacos at every El Pato restaurant. I know you drive by several of those on the way to work. Well, phone it in. That way it'll be ready for you. Just get out of the vehicle, go get your bag. Or if there's nobody in the drive-thru, you can drive through there and get your bag and go to work. Be the hero. Take several for the gang at work. Breakfast tacos are so delicious. They're fresh. They smell so good. They're so beautiful. They taste even better than what they look and what they smell like. It's mama's recipe. It's grandma's recipe. It's El Pato breakfast tacos, potato, egg, bean, cheese, ham, or bacon, or some chorizo, or barbacoa. Try barbacoa with refried bean and the red salsita. It's so good. Right now at every El Pato restaurant, 2 enchiladas, cheese or chicken enchiladas that are so good. Rice and bean, the big fat fajita taco, the pato, plus the drink, an amazing $9.99 for a limited time at every El Pato restaurant.
If you're looking to improve your overall health and have a better quality of life, Dr. T's Primary Care is the place to go. If you feel tired or stressed or less motivated, if you're moody or if you have trouble sleeping, Dr. T's Primary Care will evaluate you and work with you to address your health concerns, including testosterone or menopause treatment, peptide treatment, IV vitamin infusions. Their licensed staff will take the time to listen to you and work with you to improve your overall health. Check out the website, drtsprimarycare.com. Give them a call in the Cal at 956-803-0058 in Harlingen, 956-368-5247.
Chevy Silverado, the truck that America depends on. Get a new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Crew Cab for only $32,000 to $995, or pay $30,000 to $995 for a new 2026 Chevrolet Colorado Crew Cab at Payne West Laco Chevrolet, Payne Alice Chevrolet, and PayneGM.com. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Locate to get us regardless. Audio streaming on KURV.com. Powered by South Texas Buick GMC. McAllen Mission.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. President Trump said on Truth Social that Iran has informed him there would be no tolls, insurance costs, or charges of any kind for ships looking to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. His comments come shortly after the U.S. and Iran signed an interim peace deal to bring an end to the conflict. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said on CNBC that the U.S. economy can get back on the path to 3% growth as the Iran war nears conclusion. Bessent said, quote, "We can have something with a 3 in front of it this year." FedEx has posted strong fiscal fourth quarter earnings in the company's last quarter that included the freight business before its spinoff. FedEx Freight spun off into a separately publicly traded company on June 1st. The company said it saw a 3% year-over-year increase in domestic volume. Futures are slightly higher as tech stocks rebound after the sell-off. NASDAQ futures up by more than 100 points. Yesterday, the Dow dropped 45, the NASDAQ down 579, the S&P 500 down 107. That's your money now.
AccuWeather says triple digits for a Mid-Valley, Western Valley as well. We're looking at 100 plus, and that's a 710 KURV heat alert. Thank you to Lee's Pharmacy for the heads up. Right now, temperatures 79 to 80 across the valley. That'd be 79 in McAllen Mission, Edinburgh, and over at Starbase with our neighbor, Elon Musk, our trillionaire neighbor, Elon Musk. So if he's a trillionaire, Freddie, we don't ask him for a 20, right? We can ask him for a suitcase full of like $1 million, like if we can borrow something like that, right? Yeah, and dry weather continues and triple-digit weather continues for the foreseeable future into the weekend. That's from AccuWeather. We got Fox News coming up in 2 minutes on 710 KURV. JP and Jeff at Amigo Power Equipment represent the awesome Kubota line, that equipment that will help you make reality of those ideas, all the thing you've been brainstorming about, things, all these ideas for your ranch and your lease. You need Kubota equipment. Everything I'm going to mention here, you can see at gokubota.com. Great financing options if you qualify, and of course, big savings. Amigo Power Equipment is home to Kubota, the #1 selling compact tractor in the nation. They're celebrating Kubota Orange Days, and between now and June 30th, if you qualify, again, 0% financing available on some of this Kubota equipment, or you could save $5,500 off select Kubota compact tractors. This sale ends at the end of June, so we got a few more days. End of June 30th is the final day. Kubota Orange Days. Get great savings and great financing on Kubota at Amigo Power Equipment, Edinburgh on Monte Cristo.
They said copies for a penny couldn't be done. We said, watch us. Total Imaging Solutions. We're flipping the script on printing. Whether you're a small business or a big operation, it doesn't matter. If you need a printer or copier, Total Imaging Solutions has the right printer for you. You get the printer for a simple monthly fee and copies, just a penny or less a page. No ink or toner charges. No surprise service fees, just clear, honest pricing. And if your old printer's slowing you down, we'll trade it out and level you up. Whether you print just a couple of copies a day or need the next New York Times press, we can help. Plus, if anything ever breaks, our team will have you up and running in under 4 hours. Easy printing, fast service, real savings. That's the penny or less revolution. Call 956-664-2113 or visit copiesforapenny.com. That's copiesforapenny.com. Total Imaging Solutions, helping your business one penny at a time.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Information to start your day.
The Valley's Morning News.
News Talk 710 KURV.
It's the pulse of the 956. This is News Talk 710 KURV, the Valley's Morning News. I'm Sergio Sanchez, along with show producer Fred Cruz, Jason Catarina from AccuWeather. Appreciate you tuning in on the radio, 710 AM radio. But as we do everything on social media and on phones, right? Do the pivot. Just get used to finding us on your smartphone. You can tune in 710 KURV, Facebook and X and YouTube Live as well. Also on Radio Para Mí, the free app. Highs today, triple digits. It's going to be hot. News on 710 KURV, a service of Jay Gonzalez Injury Attorneys. Ready to fight for you. Call 1-800-CAR-CRASH.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. It will be a busy day for President Trump.
He is heading to Capitol Hill reportedly to discuss with Republican senators the stalled SAVE Act, bracing they are, according to reports, for a heated discussion potentially. While he's there, the press secretary says he's going to be signing the 21st Century Road to Housing Act, one of the most significant pieces of housing affordability legislation in American history.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House. The president posting this morning on Truth Social, no tolls, no insurance costs, and no other charges of any kind being sought or received by Iran on ships traveling through the Strait of Hormuz. New York Congressman Dan Goldman losing his primary to Brad Lander.
Solidarity is the force that we need to vanquish Trump's fascism.
He and two other socialist allies of Mayor Zohran Mamdani winning their races. America's listening to Fox News.
Another court getting in the way of administrative work. The Trump administration is facing a setback when it comes to voter verification.
A federal judge says upgrades to a decades-old tool that states use to identify non-citizen voters is unlawful. The updates are part of the systematic alien verification for entitlements, or the SAVE program. That judge says SAVE could lead to eligible voters being wrongfully removed, and Congress prohibits centralizing Americans' personal data. The Trump administration says it will keep on defending that program.
That's reporter Marquis Martin with that report. It's 14 minutes to the hour on the Valley's Morning News. And an interesting note in politics on the Democrat Party side, now that the primaries are over and they've got James Tallarico running for U.S. Senate. So where is his opponent on the issue of supporting him in the race for U.S. Senate?
Congressman Jasmine Crockett, who was not picked as the party's candidate for Senate, is apparently refusing to campaign for the winner, James Tallarico. That's leading to questions about whether black voters will come out in November.
Without question, black voter support is indispensable for James Tallarico.
Rice political analyst Mark Jones says that the black voting bloc is reliably around 15% of all votes cast. If that drops to single digits, Tallarico's in trouble. The latest polling shows that he and the Republican Ken Paxton are neck and neck.
Business note, Mark Zuckerberg apparently wants to jump on the bandwagon with prediction markets, with Kalshi and Polymarket gaining popularity, people voting on anything and everything. There's a report up northeast that's saying that Meta is working on an app called Arena, and it will be competition for Kalshi and other prediction markets. This is the Valley's Morning News on News Talk 710 KURV. You can join us at Radio Para Mi, which is a free app, and you can listen on your phone, on your tablet. You can also join us. We do the 7 o'clock hour on YouTube, X, and Facebook. You can rewind and catch the day's news. The morning news on News Talk 710 KURV.
Epic parties start at Staples. Now you can grab Party City balloons, decorations, and tableware, plus matching custom invites, banners, and more right at Staples. That was easy.
The Ryan and Brian team, they're awesome. Number one top real estate company in the area. In the hearts of Randy and Jennifer, and let me take a look. Yeah, and in the hearts of over 700 five-star Google reviewers who took the time to write something really, really nice of the Ryan and Brian real estate team, how awesome they are. I mentioned Randy and Jennifer at the beginning. They just worked with my friend Brian Reed and his team at the Ryan and Brian team to get a new home. They were moving from out of state and decided to settle here in Mission. The Ryan and Brian team had Carla, one of their agents, and understood the sense of urgency. So their old home out of state, it sold fast. They had a lot of cash on hand. We got to go. Let's find us a home. Carla, the agent at the Ryan and Brian real estate team, knew the perfect homes to show Randy and Jennifer, and because of long distance connections, was able to do the whole tour. Here's take the phone or the tablet. Let's go room to room. Let's go to look at the kitchen, the pool, everything. Just do that tour online. The first home that Randy and Jennifer fell in love with didn't work out for them. It failed inspection. Still, because time was of the essence, their agent Carla luckily had the knowledge of the market. Didn't take long to find another home that was a perfect fit for Randy and Jennifer. The Ryan and Brian real estate team made sure to protect their clients' best interest the entire time. Randy and Jennifer were able to find an awesome home where they wanted to be in Mission, Texas. This could be you or a family member, so connect them to the Ryan and Brian real estate team at 956-540-2536. The website, ryanandbrian.com. That's ryanandbrian.com.
If you're selling your home, don't be trying. Call Ryan and Brian. Go to ryanandbrian.com.
When it comes to bad weather, being prepared is half the battle. The other half, leave it to Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC. Be prepared this hurricane season and don't let anything take the power away from you, not even the weather. It's never too early to prepare for hurricane season. At Mike's Plumbing, Electrical, and AC, we want to help you stay ahead of the storm. Give us a call at 956-686-1353. That's 956-686-1353. Or visit callmightymike.com. We can help you come up with a plan. That's callmightymike.com. Mighty Mike to the rescue.
Experience everything Bird Ogden Cadillac in Edinburgh has to offer. Service, selection, and quality. Indulge yourself with bold design and set the standard with comfort and performance in a new 2026 Cadillac XT5 Luxury. Lease one now, just $579. That's right, just $579 per month. More style, more innovation, more you. Make your move. Set yourself apart and discover a new standard of luxury ownership. Visit us online at birdogdencadillac.com or come in today to Bird Ogden Cadillac in Edinburgh, where legends are